So today in this video, we'll talk about basic AI terms you have heard but don't know the exact meaning of. So firstly, we start with data science. What is data science? It is a technology that helps us predict the future outcomes with data from the past. Now, what do I mean by this? It means that let's see this and suppose this example. In this example, this is the past data. So here I have when x equals to 0, y is equal to 1. When x is equal to 2, y is equal to 2. And then when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 5. So what prediction can you and I make from this? Or we shouldn't call it prediction. What pattern can you notice here? You notice that y is equal to x plus 1 is the main equation behind all of this values, right? So now we have a question which asks if x equals to 5, then y equals to what? So we use the same equation, y is equals to x plus 1, and we already have the value of x, and then we predicted that y will be equal to 6. So this is how data science works. We use evidence of past data as mathematical evidence, and then we predict the future. I mean, this is not technically future, but it's just for reference to solve it's just for another word for solving similar problems, or like predicting what will happen next. This could be used in, like to predict which team will win a certain match beforehand by looking at their past wins and losses. So the more the data, the better the outcome. So now second topic we need to learn about is supervised learning. Now if we have any outcome in mind, it's supervised learning. You won't understand exactly, so let me show you with the example. It's hard to understand in words. These topics are very nuanced, but simply what happens is, if I have a question, will someone buy a football? Now consider this to be your outcome, right? I need to find out if somebody will buy a football. And I have this data of person 1 and then person 2, and I have the data of whether or not they watch football content online. Person 1 does watch football content online and person 2 does not. So I simply use a machine learning algorithm to predict if the person will buy football or not based on this data. And for person 1 it predicts that the person will buy a football, and for person 2 it predicts that the person won't buy a football. So this is it. This is supervised learning. We provide data and we have a goal in mind, or like an answer in mind, a question in mind for which we hope to find the answer to with the help of the data. Now the third topic is unsupervised learning. Now it's the same as supervised learning, but the only difference is that we provide data only and we do not hope for any outcome, or we do not have any question in mind. We just hope to notice some patterns within the data. For this, I have created a prompt with ChatGPT. I'll show you how it works. So here in this Notes app, I asked ChatGPT to create a data set for 50 people. These are all imaginary data set about name, age, profession, and education level, and then their location and monthly income, monthly spending, monthly savings, and then their savings rate, and then their credit score for each 50 individuals. So ChatGPT generated this data first, and then I asked ChatGPT to again run unsupervised learning on it in the simplest way possible. You wouldn't use ChatGPT for unsupervised learning, but I just want to make things simple here. So after the data was provided to ChatGPT, it made a few conclusions. So for cluster 0, so cluster just means group of data within the bigger data set itself. So within the data set you have similar data, right? Let's say I have data like this. This is the bigger data set, 1 2 2 3 3. So I would cluster 1 and 1 together, 2 and 2 together, and then 3 and 3 together. That's how clustering works. This is also a machine learning term, I think it is actually. And then we will then find patterns in cluster 0. It is predicting that these people are of mid-range income. They have mid-range income, and then they have high savings rate and credit. They look financially stable. And for another cluster, it assumed that it found out that this group of people are high income professionals. They have strong credit and high home ownership, and it predicted that they are likely tech/white collar earners, which is true because in typical professions, software engineering was the first and foremost. Now for the last cluster, it predicted that this group was low income, and people in this group had a significantly lower credit score versus other clusters. So that's how unsupervised learning works. We did not have any goal in mind, and it just categorized and then identified the pattern in the data itself. So that's how it works. Now finally, we have reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning means the process by which an AI, let's say chatbot, learns by performing tasks and receiving feedback, either positive or negative, from environments, then optimizes the outcomes to get maximum rewards. Example would be ChatGPT. I know it's kind of complex, but let's understand with an example. Let's say I ask ChatGPT to suggest me a name for a cafe. This is the first step. And then it suggests me the name Sip and Saber. So now the learner is ChatGPT here. So now this is the input I provide again in the same chat. I said I like the word savor, but I don't like the word sip. Now ChatGPT will use reinforcement learning to understand that it should use the word savor in the name, but ship should not be used. And then it will give me another output as savor lane. So that's how it works. Here, when a learner learns by performing tasks, so here ChatGPT learned by performing this task of naming a cafe for me and then receiving feedback from environment. Now in this case I'm the environment, and I provided negative feedback and then optimizing outcomes to get maximum rewards. I kind of signaled that I like the word savor, so it used the word savor and removed the word sip to get maximum rewards. So that's how reinforcement learning works.